The skills of the architect can be applied in different ways, and there are four, I think, that are central to what the architect knows how to do. So what does the architect know how to do? First, the architect works in teams. Okay? An architect cannot really work on his or her own. It's just not a practical possibility anymore. So the architect needs to really conduct the symphony of experts. The architect doesn't need to be an expert in each of these disciplines, but when dealing with mechanical engineers, structural engineers, landscape architects, experts in the city, sociologists, all sorts of related experts, the architect needs to form a part of that team. The second is iterative thinking. It's never good the first time. And I think the architect knows this all too well because the process of making architecture is complex, and we know that you need to try it again, refine, make it better. And what I always say is you never actually finish a project, you merely run out of time, which is true. There's a point at which you iterate, it could become better probably, but at some point we have to stop that process. The third is project-based thinking. Now it's really in vogue these days to talk about project-based learning, and I think people are beginning to realize what architects have been forced to realize for centuries really, is that we look at complex questions, let's say the design of any building, a school for example. That project will engage all sorts of different questions, right? It's not merely the design of a building, it's thinking about what does it mean to learn? What is the environment necessary for learning? That may lead you to research pedagogy. It may lead you to think about the sociology of groups, of organizations in space. It may lead you to ask questions that aren't necessarily immediately related to the design of a school. But that project-based learning is something that we do, it's sort of intrinsic to the work of the architect. The architect needs to somehow concisely and beautifully synthesize. And so that capacity for synthesis is an important tool. And in that synthesis, let's say we take all of these disparate ideas about what it means to make a school, this project-based, this complex idea, but we synthesize that into an artifact, a drawing. And through that artifact or drawing, we can seduce, and that's let's say convince. There's a certain amount of rhetoric involved in that. So the capacity for synthesis is really important. So those four skills, I think, are what makes the architect useful in a range of fields, including the design of the built environment, but I think well beyond it as well.